Hello, I am Dr. Marilyn Ward with No Excuses, and today we are going to talk about the debate. So, if you saw my little reel, we are going to debate about does healthy food really cost more than fast food, or is it that we are just too lazy to buy the healthy food, prep it, and cook it? Because let's face it, it is time consuming. You have to go to the grocery store, pick out the food, then you have to take it home, prep it, and then cook it, right? And then hope that your family will eat it. Well, I get it. Like a busy parents, I get it. But I don't believe that it's the cost that's really keeping us from doing it as opposed to the easiness of it. And I believe that's why so many of these companies have come out with and I'm not naming like again, like I'm not promoting any specific business, but like HelloFresh, uh, Factor. I'm just thinking of all these ones that you can use that it's delivered right to you. Now there's some that they are a good deal. They are still more expensive than you going to the store and actually purchasing the product yourself. Even now you can do pickup. Walmart, does these deliveries, or they'll go out and pick out your food, and then you go pick it up. So there's tons of easier ways now that you can actually um, help ease that pain a little bit. So is it again really that fast food um, is more, does is the cost there? Is the cost variance different, or the cost comparison different, or is it just our actions and our laziness? So moving right along. So we will talk about the facts, the price comparison, how the foods compare with our health, and then I've got some key tips and takeaways, or some keynotes for you at the end. So the facts. This is kind of it's a big one. So over the past 50 years, the health of Americans has gotten worse. We know that, right? 71% of Americans are overweight or obese compared to only 66% only 5 years ago. 5 years, that's not a huge difference, but I believe we're coming to such not only fast food eating, but a fast pace of life, right? Our kids are more active. We as adults are more active. And I don't mean active like as in going to the gym. I mean just doing more things. Both parents are working. You got one kid going this way, you got one kid going that way. So again, we are so fast paced that we aren't taking the time to really, really think about our health. So what does that mean? That this means 100 million people in America are obese. Just sit on that for a second. 100 million people in America are obese. Now, let's look at ourselves. Am I part of that statistic? Am I um, aiding in that statistic, or am I fighting against it? Am I going to go outside? I'm going to be the anomaly, and I am not. I'm going to be against the norm. Where do you fall in that line of statistics? So today, eating processed foods and fast foods may kill more people than premature people. Let me say that one more time. Today, eating processed foods and fast foods may kill more people prematurely than cigarette smoking. That's staggering. Both of those, cigarette smoking and eating, were both at the control of our hand, right? We're the one that puts the cigarette in our mouth. We're the one that puts that fork in our mouth. We have the ability to control that, right? You have the ability to control that and stop being a part of that statistic. All right, let's stay on topic because I get on that other soapbox and I love it. All right, the simple facts, just simple facts. So healthy food is rich in nutrients and low in unhealthy fats and additives, right? Simple. We know this. We know most of all of this material and we know what to do with it. It's just that we don't actually do it. All right, so fast food is high in calories, saturated fat, and sodium. Again, we know this. right? Fast food is convenient and easy to access. Especially now, you can actually order your fast food before you get there. And so when you get there, you go into a separate line. I don't know this because I live right next to a Chick-fil-A. You can go sit in a separate line and they bring it to you. So you can drive up and then drive off. It's even less. It's crazy. Healthy food requires more preparation and planning. Again, goes back to this our debate. Like we know it takes more time, and it's like, oh, I'll just stop by the fast food. A healthy meal consists of about half fruits, vegetables, with other half divided between whole grains and meats. But what are you really getting from that fast food meal? And I'm not saying I'm like, right, you can get a salad at fast food, but we're talking real legit crap fast food, right? We're talking the burgers, fries, and cola. Nobody goes to McDonald's to get their salad. They go to McDonald's to get their French fries. Now, I might be stepping on some toes there, and I'm not trying to debate that part. I'm not trying to pick on any fast food chain. We're just literally talking about fast food versus healthy food and the cost. All right, we'll keep it nice. Play nice. The scary facts. So we already talked about this, that eating processed foods may kill you more than cigarette smoking. Yikes, that's scary. Fast food is stuffed with trans fat, preservatives, and grease that contribute to health risks such as type 2 diabetes, obesity, and hypertension. We're going to talk about that again in a little bit. A poor diet can also lead to early cognitive decline. So not only does our physical body look pitiful after eating that food, our minds also, our brains, we're like damaging our brain, which affects our cognitive health. So those are the scary facts. So let's talk math. Let's talk about what we really came here to talk about. We're going to compare food prices. So I can get my computer to work. All right, so here we are with a comparison. Fast food for a family of four. Again, I picked on McDonald's. I don't know because it's been one of the longest running chains ever. A meal of four for four with Big Macs, fries, and drinks can cost around $40, right? Because each Big Mac combo meal averages about 9.29, $9.29 per person. So I just rounded it up to $10 times four people. That's $40. Now, granted, there's probably other meals out there that might be cheaper. Like you can get a 30-piece chicken nugget. Um, I don't know, I'm thinking of Chick-fil-A because they've done them for, seen them at family parties. So just thinking about that, just thinking about a meal in general. All right, so now let's compare that to a home cooked meal of chicken, broccoli, and brown rice, and we're drinking water, right? We're watching our cost and we're keeping healthy, so we're drinking water. So average is about between $18 and $24. And then about $6 per person when you're looking at for a family of four. So now, depending on where you live and where you're buying your food, and I'm not saying to get cheap crap food, I want you to get good food. Now, frozen is always going to be cheaper, fresh is always best, canned, try to stay away from. But for frozen chicken breasts, around $10 to $12. Excuse me. A giant head of broccoli. You can get probably a couple of them for between $4 and $6. If you don't like broccoli, put in cauliflower, put it in another vegetable. Fresh vegetables are tend to be fairly cheap. And then let's get a bag of brown rice. Now this is a 5 pound bag and it's only 4 to 6. So that bag of brown rice can actually feed you longer, can feed you probably a couple more times. A serving of rice, remember, a serving of brown rice is only a half a cup. So I'm holding my hand as if you can see. So it's only a half a cup. So that bag of brown rice is going to last you even for the next meal. So when you're meal prepping like this at home, you can save yourself so much money because you can buy in bulk, especially your dry goods like that. So like especially rice, buying that frozen thing of meat, like you can buy a giant thing of pot roast, and then you're going to feed off of that. And I really want you to pay attention to your food uh, serving size. It'll come to me. So the serving size really matters because again, when you're trying to fight like obesity and being overweight, because a lot of us, hello, we're Americans and we want big bang for our buck, the most for our money. want that super size. So again, really pay attention to your serving sizes. So like that brown rice, it will last you longer. All right, moving on. So I'll get on my little soapbox. So now let's talk about the health. All right. So when you go to eat food, I always say, ask yourself this question, like, what is this food going to do for my body? So, Big Mac, what's it going to do for you? French fries, ooh, other than they taste delicious, what nutritionally are they going to do for you? Like, what in those ingredients is going to do something for my body and my brain? So think about, what are the macronutrients in there? Well, if you're looking at a fast food meal, you've got protein from the burger, but it is so outweighed with the hamburger bun, the Big Mac sauce, um, the ketchup, all of that, full of sodium. So you've kind of outweighed any other. Now, the French fries, I had this question, or Robin and I were debating this the other day. We're not debating it, we're just talking about it. Like in a French fry, different brands, so many different brands of French fries. If I had to claim one, ooh, telling on myself here. I love me some Zaxby's crinkle cut fries or Red Robin steak fries. So there, let the cat out of the bag. We'll talk about that when we talk about moderation. So what is it really potato in there? Like I feel like Five Guys, you really see them fresh cut their potatoes. So I feel like you got a real potato. But when you get into some of these fast food restaurants, and now they're putting like this crispy coating on their French fries, so you really kind of have to watch um, the French fries. Like, is there really any potato in there? So again, that would go as a carbohydrate, obviously. So that falls into your macronutrients. Now let's talk about micronutrients. Now, so what vegetables do we see? Oh, you guys are gonna have to listen to the dogs bark for a second because people are about to come in the house. So if you look at your micronutrients, you got a pickle, you have lettuce, not a whole lot of nutrients going on there. So not really too many micronutrients. Now, what is it going to do for my health in the long run? So we know that the health food, it's going to cause all these problems. We talked about that earlier, and we'll talk about it a little bit later when we talk about health costs. But healthy nutrition is foundational for supporting physical growth and mental development in infants, young children, and adolescents. Right? We're so like in the beginning when your kids are young, it's like babies, breast milk, young children, you want your fruits and veggies. So, and as we get older, we need it too. So, because now we're thinking about our muscle development, our brain. I mean, you're developing your brain and your muscles young too, but as we get older, we want to maintain that muscle mass. We want to maintain that brain health. So, the health foods help support the brain, um, mental function, helps slow cognitive decline. So, there's so many reasons why to choose the healthy food versus the fast food. And again, I'm real. I know not every day is a picture perfect day, but for the most part, that's what we want to choose, right? All right, so health costs. So remember the scary facts. We talked about obesity, type 2 diabetes, hypertension. The medical costs alone, 147 billion in 2008 was associated with obesity. That is an astronomical number, right? So think about that. Think about your past medical bills. Did they have anything to do with what we're talking about? Did you have obesity that you had to go to the doctor for, type 2 diabetes or hypertension? So treating chronic conditions like diabetes, heart disease, hypertension can add to significant expenses over time. Lost productivity. Maybe you had to leave work for a certain medical condition. Maybe you had to leave work to go to one of these doctor appointments to talk about having type 2 diabetes. And there's nothing worse than going and sitting in a doctor's office, them coming back with your blood panel and saying, oh, well, your A1C levels are high, your blood levels are high, and and now they're marking you as a high risk for diabetes, or maybe you're already have high blood pressure, the hypertension. So it can be super scary and almost embarrassing, because you're like, again, we're like, oh my gosh, I caused this. I did this. I'm the one that ate that food. I'm the one that decided not to work out. I'm the one that made those poor choices. We can't blame anybody else. I know all the time you see people say, well, it's that fast food problem that my kids won't eat anything else. No, ma'am, mom or dad, you're the one that drove your child to that restaurant. Your 6-year-old child cannot drive themselves to McDonald's to get their chicken nuggets. That's you. So I'm gonna put that blame on the parents. Fast food didn't make us fat. We allowed that to make us fat, right? So let's be real. Let's be honest. Time to take that deep look into your soul and put blame where blame should be. Again, not trying to pick a fight, just trying to educate us and really make us think um, how we now, knowing this information, can stop the madness, and we can, we have time to make a change and live a better life. All right, moving on. So talking about long-term care. So chronic conditions often require ongoing medical care. So the medications and the long-term care facilities, which can be extremely costly, again, because it all falls back to the diseases or these chronic issues that are caused by a poor diet or poor lifestyle choices. We can have a whole nother video just on the physical inactivity. It's kind of that vicious cycle too, right? So like you eat bad food, so you become overweight, so then you're less active because you're overweight. So then you're depressed and you get mad, so then you tend to eat more, right? It's a terrible vicious cycle. So we're gonna stop that, right? We're gonna stop that. Everybody say it right now. I'm gonna stop that. I'm no longer gonna be a part of the statistic. All right, so some key tips and takeaways. So, as hard as this may be for some of you, but hey, it's January, it's the new year, we're making a difference, right? So, eat most of your meals at home, because home cooked meals can be more cost effective and healthier in the long run. Plus, cooking at home allows for more control over the ingredients and those portion sizes. Pretty sure a Big Mac is above or larger than that portion size. Not to mention, oh my gosh, if you've ever looked at the calorie intake, that's a whole nother story. The calorie intake alone for a meal like that, and I'm just throwing it off the top of my head, anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 or 2,000 calories in one meal, right? One meal. That's your whole day's worth of calories, right? You still have breakfast and lunch or luncheon and whatever you're eating that meal for. Okay, so that alone, so eating at home, you can control the portion sizes, you can control the ingredients, because sometimes you really don't know what's in there. I mean, and if you ever look at an ingredient list on fast food items, you can Google it and look up just in the bun alone, it's like ridiculous. So do your homework and research. Balance and moderation. Aim for balanced diets of nutritious food and limit your fast food intake. I'm real. I get it. I'm not saying I've never been through a fast food restaurant, because I have. But moderation. It should not be every day or even once a week. I remember when I was young, we lived 20, 30 minutes from the nearest fast food. So for us, it was a novelty. Plus, my family was a caterer and we owned restaurants. So we didn't have a lot of fast food. And when we did, it was a novelty. It was special. It was like, oh, going to, and I think back then it was Burger King was the big thing. I want, can't wait to have Burger King. Or I can remember, this is how old I am. At McDonald's, it was the McDLT and the hot stayed hot and cold stayed cold, and it came in the two separate things. Kind of dating myself. But so even today, I know, like when we're out and about with the kids, we will go through there, but it should not be a daily or weekly thing. It should be maybe monthly or quarterly. All right. So, a tip to help you at home would be to pick a day. Sunday, I don't know, is usually the best day because you're prepping for the week. Do a meal prep. Get your family involved to make it fun and faster. Do you know if you get your family involved in cooking, they have more tendency to actually eat the food that they cook? There is no saying, oh, I don't like that, because they were a part of the preparation. They're like, oh yeah, I remember cutting up that broccoli. I remember peeling those carrots. So now they're like, oh, they've taken ownership. They're like, oh, it's really good because I helped make it, right? So make it a fun family thing, and then the time is cut in half. You go get the groceries, you bring it home, you prep it, you get it ready for the week, you have your kids help you, and then you're done in a matter of maybe an hour or two. Everybody has an extra 30 minutes to an hour to 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 food prep and to take care of themselves, right? So you've got to make yourself a priority. So that's the last one. So most importantly, invest in your health. Prioritizing your health and well-being can lead to long-term benefits, reducing the risk of those chronic diseases that we talked about, and enhancing your overall quality of life. You are worth it. I would say, like, I'm worth that expensive steak. I'm not worth a 99-cent cheeseburger, right? We're worth the filet mignon. So we are worth the good stuff. Okay, remember that. And let's see. There we go. So thank you for listening to the presentation today. If you have questions or if you would like to continue this debate, my phone number 941-354-9565. Please email me at drward@noexcusesmarilynward.com or visit my website, same thing. I do have some great resources on that site about, I think there's one on portion control, there might be one on hypertension, but I try to keep a lot of literature on there that you can print and download for yourself. I've just taken tip sheets from other websites and put them all together on one. So a lot of them come from, it used to be, that's my plate or my pyramid, I think it's my plate. I get a lot from there. So just check it out. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you enjoyed today's presentation. So again, I will leave you that with my stance on this debate is that health food is more cost effective and better for you than fast food. All right, take care.